I mean, dude, this to me is like the Antarctica thing is like the part in the story where it almost looks like the bad guy's going to win, even though I don't think it's even that big of a win for the Globe, but they are going to probably run this with the media and Twitter posts. And dude, I already saw one Twitter post and it was like, flat earthers finally admit they're wrong. And it was like the video of Jeran at the very beginning when he jumped on camera, the first thing, and he's like, he said something like, well, sometimes in life you're wrong. And in this case, I was wrong. I mean, so it's just like, however they chop all that up and cut it up, like, so anyways,
Just
this
giving
is
them
like,
sound bites.
it's
You know
going to
what I mean?
make it
Giving
look
them
like,
that sound bite.
Dude, that's
Oh,
my
yeah.
problem. They purposely gave him like that kind of like he gave that speech on purpose so that he could be taken out of context. Because if that were me, I wouldn't have been like, oh, I'm wrong. I would have just asserted what I already believe in terms of like, the Antarctic midnight sun still works on a flat Earth. Blah blah blah. Like you wouldn't be like, oh, I was wrong. Like, and like you're begging to be taken out of context, especially like yeah.
Yeah, in the sense of like the way that Witsit would talk about how he would get an interview with a TV station for an hour, and then every other line he's saying like some globe thing or some like flat Earth talking point, so that they don't really have a chance to take him out of context. Whereas the entire Jeran speech was just full on like not
Concession.
concession, complete concession. That's the good word.
Not really complete though. For what I remember him saying, he was more like that he was wrong about the 24-hour sun. He did not think there was one here, and there was. So said he was wrong about that, and he did say like go back to the drawing board. He also said like it's up to you guys, come to your own decisions, do your own thing, kind of thing. Like he kind of said that it seems, and he just kind of said I don't know where it goes from here. But I heard him like I mean Jeran, they were like in the one live stream I think that Jeran did. Witsit and Jeran were just kind of standing there, and Witsit was like looks really flat, and Jeran was like, "Yep, sure does." Like, so I don't know, dude. I don't know. I guess I can't speak for Jeran, so I guess we'll see where things go from here. But I just being as close as he is to Witsit, like I don't know, and Witsit's like seems to be staying solidly stationary and planar through this from everything. You know what I mean? So like, is Jeran really gonna divert, or is he gonna just hang out and let us keep working on things, getting more data, and putting it together, and just kind of holding through with what is, or is he actually gonna kind of assert a globe, or actually like claim to go back to a globe? I guess that would be because I don't know. He has made some wording of things that seems like this like maybe within some range, because he was saying that it is explained on a globe, but I guess it would come up maybe if he could start hearing things of how it actually can be working on a planar stationary Earth.
Yeah, it's just a question of like optics, in the sense of that singular moment is like the moment that is going to be looked at the most in terms of getting the most attention, and then every moment after that is going to get progressively less and less attention. So in that sense of there only needs to be one soundbite that comes out for the purposes of having it get posted from all of these like anti-flat Earth Twitter accounts or normal conspiracy Twitter accounts, or
that
on like some
that's it. It's a 5-second soundbite.
That's interesting at the end of the movie. They just clip that's interesting. And
yeah,
you know what? He knew this was coming. Like, let's be honest. He knew this was coming. The clip was coming, right? And at the moment when he would be clipped, he said the shit that we didn't want him to say. That's exactly what I saw anyway.
Yeah, so in this sense, it doesn't actually matter what he says from here on out, because the damage is already done, in the sense of that clip being created that can be propagated for another 10 years.
But it's like, is your issue that is he media trained and he's a shill, or he's he's a bit like a bit of a buffoon, or that's an incorrect terminology. I shouldn't say that, but
like he would have to be intentional at this point.
He's not polished.
That's the only thing that I could say.
In this sense, it's separate from making the claim about the competency of his character, and more of looking at it in a value-free lens.
So would he be setting himself up to become the whipping boy of flat Earth, basically?
Yeah, whether intentional or not, he did create a clip that is used for the same purpose as the interesting clip, more or less.
Dude, I am kind of reflecting on that because, dude, I thought that was intense that they did that. Like Duffy made them like get on camera, and that was kind of intense. I was almost surprised. Like
why would he even get on his channel? Why would he entertain like offering that kind of footage to them? It doesn't make any sense.
They agreed on it.
Well, the only thing I thought, I mean, Duffy did pay 40 grand for him. I don't know if he maybe felt like, hey, I owe the guy a live stream, a few minutes on his, you know what I mean? Like, could have been that. Like,
well, yeah,
guy pays 40 grand to send you there for this purpose, and you would just be like, I'm gonna go hang out in my tent. I'm good. I'm not gonna go.
Yeah, it's fair.
Wait. Are you guys entertaining? Are you guys entertaining that he's just has bad luck and Jeran just got into the same situation again? It was just by accident.
No, we're not making.
Go ahead, Elbow. Well, I was at the one originally, so I guarantee when we were there it was. I know what happened in the. I don't think I was there when he said interesting though. So actually, I think that was the second day, and I really wasn't there for that. But anyways, I know that was chopped up extremely deceptively what they did in that. So Jeran really didn't do anything even wrong in that. They just took the interesting, jacked it all up, and pretty much screwed him over. So.
What about the Mark Sargent part in the Netflix thing? Was that unintentional?
Yeah, let Elbow go.
Yeah, I was gonna say that this is. It doesn't matter what he says in his video. It's actually perfect for us because we're gonna have a bunch of Globers. Like, I can't tell what the sun does on your Earth or whatever. Yeah, we don't. We never claimed we did in the first place. I mean, we definitely said probably if it's laid out this way, we couldn't tell that it couldn't be a 24-hour sun. But we have no idea how the Earth is laid out. So this is definitely 100% good for us because there's going to be a whole bunch more other people speaking about it.
I mean, in that sense, like good
true.
Publicity isn't explicitly at all. Like in the sense of like Witsit did give a better answer in that interview where like that is like, all right, here's a whole bunch of different things. If that was something that would never be able to be used as a hit piece, little clip, but because the Jeran clip exists, nobody is going to watch that Witsit clip of like his answer there. Relatively speaking, like 100 times more people are going to be watching the Jeran clip than
I thought
people who watch the Witsit answer.
I thought Witsit's was solid. Like my kind of commentary on it, I thought his was very solid.
Yeah, there are more responsible ways to get a message across. Just seems like Jeran throws the position under the bus like a little too often, so to speak. I mean, I don't know exactly in all the different ways he's done it, but like clearly we're discussing it. People feel that way. He's not performing in the best like capacity of the position, and like a lot of people have come to him. Even Witsit showed him like the handy stuff, for example, which he's come up with at least like 10 different ideas that have been very valuable in showing how a demonstration of the phenomena is attainable. And at no point did Jeran act like, okay, well, we're really excited that we got this. There's another way to say it. It's optics, right? Like we're really happy to know that this is going on and this is some great information to take home with us and we can start working on it. Like there's nothing wrong with that.
Dude,
just throw us under the bus and like throw the position under the bus and like give it to them. It's like, just like what?
I mean, what did he throw on the bus? What was his statement exactly? Wasn't his statement that just invalidates the AE map?
Well, dude, I mean, I'm not trying.
We never said it was the map in the first place. It was just it's a depiction. So like this is the thing. Like he's claiming it. He's basically giving it from the Glober perspective.
Well, I mean,
bro, I do hear you. Let me just say this. Like, dude, I hear what you're saying. In a way, I do think Jeran does have. There might be a little bit of like I was gonna say honest aloofness. Like he's honest in a way that he's not, but he's also like, because dude, when he first came out, that is pretty, because he came out and he was like, well, sometimes in life you're wrong, and in this case I was wrong. I really, you know what I mean? Now that is intense, dude. Like nonetheless, I mean, it is him, is who he is, and we could all speculate, but like, I guess like that is also like honest, like he just came out, but it's also a little aloof, meaning it's not as like tactical. Witsit came out tactical style, dude. He had the shades on. He was like, he just had his chest, like his shoulders were high. He was just standing strong. He had that kind of like almost like militaristic, but in a good way, just kind of like this solid, like, grounded kind of vibe. Whereas like, yeah, because Jeran basically came out and said that, and like Riggs, what you're saying, dude, totally. There's so many different ways to word it. Like you could say exactly like, instead of being like I was wrong kind of thing, you could come out and be like you were saying, like, this is so beautiful. Thank you so much for bringing me here. Like it's so amazing to see really what the sun does here. There are some ideas within a flat earth, that where this wouldn't work. However, that, anyways, how many ways that you could have framed it in a way where it's like, this is great new information. It's going to help us, instead of it's over, it's dead, I lost, it's wrong.
Oh, it must be the AE, or else all of flat Earth must fall.
No, he didn't say it's over.
He didn't say it was over.
No, I'm exaggerating.
I'm exaggerating. He was wrong. This definitely invalidates the AE map, which is fine, 100% perfect, because the AE map was never ours.
No. By proxy, when you say AE map, you're giving away all like top-down projections, bro. Like it's by proxy.
It's exactly. It's not ours.
But that's the incorrect thing to say, and you're giving it from the Glover perspective.
Because first of all, we don't have a map. We have no idea.
Then say that.
Cartographer. We don't have.
Then say that. Well, you see.
Well, they've been feeding this map to us all the time.
Exactly.
So exactly.
We're offering the prospect.
This definitely invalidates the AE map, because it isn't ours.
That's also not the only thing that he said.
My words, bro. Like it isn't our map. It is a freaking projection of the globe Earth. So why are we so? Who gives a shit about that stupid map? It's not ours.
What'd you say, Yasuke?
Like if that was literally the only thing that he said, then like that would be taken as granted. But that was not like that. The framing was, all right. Thank you, Duffy, for coming in. I know I'm going to get called a shill for this. Like, anybody who looks at this is going to be a shill. But, I was wrong. I thought that there was a 24-hour sun, and there was no 24-hour sun. And, I am man enough to admit that. And, like, that kind of rhetoric was going for, like, 2 minutes. So that is going to be, like, the majority of what is in the soundbite.
Right. Well, that's, yeah. And I was exaggerating, saying we lost or whatever. Like, he didn't say that, but... or it's over, or what. I was just being kind of, but however, like I think what Yasuke is saying, if they clip that first part, it's gonna be flat earther eats crow in Antarctica type of shit, So,
but we predicted this, right?
Any wording,
we predicted that
like
Jeran would give the clip, and then what do you?
Yeah, I mean, it's not even a question. And a news producer? What are they going to use? They have a 5-second soundbite. Boom, it's that 100%.
But
yeah, which goes back into
the lame media. It's like the fucking legacy media. They always use a clip of a whole shit. But
I mean, it's not just the legacy media.
It is the same thing, because they're gonna use a 5-second clip of the whole thing. That's what the legacy media does. I always do the same shit.
It's gonna be. I mean, I don't want to put this out there but just in this realm of hypothetical possibilities, it may come in what he said there, because there was a lot like I can't really think of anything Witsit said that they even could clip problematic, like from what I remember.
No.
But like if they have anything, like you guys are saying, a 3-second, 8-second, whatever, it'll be, I hate to even say this, but possibly interesting 2.0. I say that with cringe, and I don't even want that to happen, because I feel bad for Jeran.
Honestly,
because I know what he went through with the first one of all the attacks.
It was worse than an interesting 2.0.
Yeah.
Also, they're gonna clip for Witsit the thing he mentioned about one giant step. What was that quote that he made?
When he misspelled his title, basically.
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
I linked the timestamp of the talk of what we're referring to. Q-op.
But what happened to like Witsit, like saying like we got final edit rights and all this stuff? Like, oh, we're in such a good position. All this crap he was saying. Like now it's like they're gonna get clipped. Like.
But yeah, in that sense of like, Jeran gave the perfect answer that a flat earther could give from the anti-flat earth perspective. He also
That's what I'm saying. He used their point of view to make the statement, so it spoke to their audience.
Yeah, he pulled a Dan the Waterman.
It's a kind of, yeah. Like I could never imagine framing it or phrasing it. See, it's framing. It's framing. Like the way that he framed it was saying it as if he's speaking to their audience as like a subservient flat earther of their community.
They gave him that line.
I also looked at the transcript and I'd listened to it. At no point did he say that the AE map is dead. In fact, he said that doesn't mean that the AE map is dead. That doesn't mean that Flat Earth is dead. But yeah, we're gonna have to go back to the drawing board.
Who is this?
That was
this
it.
is all. You guys are all talking about Jeran here.
Yeah, still Jeran. He did not say that the AE map was done.
Well, he said that before. Didn't he say that if there is a 24-hour sun that the AE map? I could have sworn I heard him say that.
Okay.
I'm talking about this specific speech that is being clipped. In this specific speech that's being clipped, never said that.
Oh no, not but this particular one. But before, I could have swore, and I agreed with him that you can't have it circling here and in the middle at the same time. I could have sworn I heard him say that.
Even that framing is defeat. It's like, oh, it's not dead. Like, it's like, obviously it's not dead. Like, most flat earthers didn't even have the position that it was dead. So it's just like, who are you even saying that to?
Yeah, so that's in the sense that like Witsit gives the perfect answer for flat earthers. So flat earthers are only going to look at that perspective or like look at that point of view. And then all of the Globers or anti-flat earth people are just going to look at the Jeran clip. There's not going to be a single Glober, more or less, who's going to be looking at the Witsit clip.
That's what we said it was going to happen. We said that they were going to give the controlled like thing for each side.
They'll never use a sensible soundbite that goes against the narrative. So if Witsit could give the best fucking soundbite, they won't use it, obviously, because it hurts their narrative. They're going to use anything they can against the official, that goes to the flat side.
Well, some people do have kind of like a serendipitous way of saying certain things or being a certain way. It's kind of like just the way consciousness seems to be. So, like with what you guys are saying, even if Jeran does have that kind of media, and if something like this happens, because I hear what you guys are saying, like it just objectively, Witsit's statements, I don't see too many ways. I'd have to go back and watch it again, but I can't really think of like that being able to do too many clips out of that. For anyone who watched that, they'd have to be like, okay, wait, what is he actually saying? He's saying it actually, there are ways to. What do you say at one point? He's like, oh, here's a little teaser. There are actually ways to model it, etc. He even mentioned that. And anyways, but yeah, I mean, the things Jeran said, I'm not really criticizing him, but yeah, there's definitely clip things. Like I said, I already saw one that was on Twitter, and I'm just thinking, oh my gosh, it's gonna. Because yeah, and just him like kind of his like expression, he comes up to the camera, and that's when like, I mean, I think he was also pretty emotional. I mean, it is kind of like a type of a defeat because he was probably more strong, thinking he was going to set and stuff. He also put out that trailer right before he left for the trip, and it said in it, it was like, this is going to settle the debate. Will it set or will it circle around? And it's like to get there and just be like, oh my God, it circles around. Like that is all pretty intense because. And then lastly, I'll just say, like, there was one part where he seems like he got kind of emotional, where he like almost even kind of cried. Like he said to Duffy, it was the part where he said, Duffy, you've always been good to me or something, or you've always been nice to me and upstanding to me, at least when it comes to, you said it was here, I said it wasn't. And then he almost kind of got a little emotional. And then I feel like he kind of like, he kind of stepped forward and kind of like pushed through it, which is what you do if that's what I would probably do too. If you're just kind of getting a little emotional, you're like, anyways, you can kind of push and move forward in some way. But yeah, so he may have also been kind of emotional. And like I said, I think there's actually like an honesty to be able to come and just be like, yeah, I was wrong on, that part of it. Maybe I don't know if he was thinking about the future media things of all that, but
wow, we're wrong about one thing. Wow. Let's start crying.
Yeah, it's just in the sense of this doesn't really have anything to do with like explicitly calling him of like, oh, he did this on purpose. That's entirely a separate thing. It's more of just like, what is the actual matter of fact of how this is being disseminated, how this is being perceived? What are the actual consequences of what has happened?
And another thing, we not final. Not wrong. Not everybody agreed that there wasn't a 24-hour sun.
Exactly.
I was one of them that said they're absolutely 100% going to see a 24-hour sun just like they do in the north.
Yeah, but did you say that like for years? Like years and years kind of thing? Because I can share, we could all go through what our positions were on it. I mean, did you always say that or just recently?
Always. I never questioned that there's a 24-hour sun in the south because of the north. Now, we did question the filming of it. Let's be honest, right? We all said, where's the film? Where's the film footage? But yeah, I've never questioned the fact that there was a 24-hour sun there. Honestly, never.
Really?
Yeah.
You've always just, well then what you have no map in your mind then, or do you have one that works with that then? A flat Earth map, a planar type Earth.
Well, if it happens in the north, right? We know it happens in the north. Why we all agree to that? So why not in the south? I mean, now if you ask me how that is possible, I mean, I don't know. I don't have an answer for that. I don't know how the model is, but
so you don't have any reasoning to have the position that you've always held. You always held.
The reasoning is it's there.
You didn't know that,
it's witnessed in the north, and it's witnessed in the south.
How did you have enough, like, for yourself? How did you, like, when you're saying it's there, you know it's there? Was it like reports from this 1800s? Was it videos that we're talking about? Like, what was the thing? Was it B-ball coming in here and spamming stuff on it? Like, what was the thing that you were like, it's there, like, in your mind?
Well, like I said, the north. I repeat, if it happens in the north, and we know for sure it happens in the north, to me, there was no question why it wouldn't happen in the south. I mean, is that not a sufficient answer?
Because it's a globe?
Well, it does on a globe, but on a planar Earth with anything like an AE map, that's the thing.
You would have to have a mechanism that you're appealing to. Otherwise,
no, you guys are appealing to shape. You guys are appealing to shape right away. Like that's like, yeah.
So you're not saying, okay, so you're not even going AE map. That's fine. Is that what you're saying? So you're not even going anything close to an AE map. Well, then you just have stationary, and whether you also assert planar, obviously stationary because SE is stationary Earth. So stationary, and just, would you say you just don't have a map of the ground or the sky? Which, I mean, would be honest for any of us to say, because we've all lived in small areas and none of us are cartographers.
Yeah, but SE, what did you think happened in the south? Because, like, you know, we know that there's one in the north because the sun appears to get closer to the center, and therefore it makes sense to see it. But in the south, it appears to, like, go all the way around, and that's why people are like,
But he's not appealing
to shape right away. You're going to
he's not appealing to.
Oh,
it sounds like he's not appealing to any Gleason's or AE map at all. Yeah.
Right. So you didn't have like a model in mind. You just thought like the phenomena was real.
I've never had a model. Go back and listen to me. As long as I never had a model, I've always said if you can't see the whole object that you're talking about, you can't like predicate on it. You can't make an assumption on it.
Okay, that's fair.
Yeah. That's been my position from the beginning.
And see,
and you can couple that's why SC Montreal's my boy right there. Us Canadian boys know what's up.
And you can couple that with saying like the sun is always an apparent location.
Yep.
So
it's also not the ground.
You don't have a map of everything, and the sun is always in an apparent location. You're never going to get a full model. That's understand that.
Yeah, don't forget, everything was reverse engineered looking at the sun and the sky. Everything was reverse engineered, all of it.
That's something not a lot of people understood, though, in the beginning, like the apparent sun, because everybody had the conception that, like, you know, you could triangulate the sun and that you could know its position. So people would, like, argue over that and whether it's, like, an actual sun in the dome that you can see its actual location, or if it was just an apparent position.
Yeah, there's a lot of questionable things in the north as well. Like, I would love to see a video of somebody taking a sextant to the north and showing that the North Star, Polaris, is directly 90 degrees above where they claim they are, and then have GPS give them that North Pole coordinate. You know, we still
can't go there? What if you can't go to the North Pole? Right? There's no way to actually do it because that's another restricted zone, even more so than Antarctica.
They say people can, but to what degree is that the case? I mean, there was a guy that I was looking at. He had Union Glacier, Antarctica footage. He went there, and he was one of the first ones I was like watching all his videos and trying to look at for sun shots and stuff. And I kind of looked into him a little bit more, and he's done a bunch of other trips and stuff, and he also went to the North Pole. He's gone both, and he's got all footage there, or at least he claims. But they're on this huge boat, and it's like an icebreaker, a massive ship, and they're out on the ice, like 10, 15 people, and they put a little pole there that says 90 north in the ice. So yeah, whether that actually is 90 north, but he claims that was the North Pole, so I don't know.
They throw it off the corner, the side of the ship, so it floats there, right? Like the same thing happens in the south. They have they even have to admit that they have a ceremonial South Pole, but people will be like, went to the South Pole, but where's the actual confirmation of any of that? And even if you're directing it specifically to the stars, it still doesn't give any confirmation about the shape of the surface that you're residing upon. That's the whole.
But they actually have 3 ceremonial South Poles. There's 3 different locations.
Yeah, right. So there's
seems legit.
They should all observe the 24-hour sun, each of them.
You know what? Aren't there like
also be observing it right now,
Disneylands
right?
in America?
Yeah, right. They should.
I would also say one thing.
There's such a wide disconnect between the spots. Sorry. There's a large disconnect between all of the places that people do visit in Antarctica, right? It's not like people are just jumping from base to base in Antarctica. It's like you typically go to one and then go back somewhere else and then go to another, years later or something like that. But it doesn't seem like there's a lot of traveling between the bases that are allegedly there. People do reside.
You don't hop the North Pole to do the shortcut to the opposite side base. Like, even though it's a much shorter distance to go over the South Pole, they never do.
As far as I know, Napalm, yeah, there's not like, as far as I know, like kind of base to base, like flights and stuff. Like, I guess, but I haven't really looked into that fully. However, you know how we've talked about that do people ever fly from South Africa to Antarctica? And there was very difficulty in finding like any flights where they actually go that way. However, I did look at that it's White Desert, I think it's the company, and they're in like Cape Town or whatever, they're in South Africa. I forget if that's the right exact town, but and they apparently fly from there to their base that they have, or their camp, which is not Union Glacier. It's like a totally different camp, and it's not as far north. It's like 73 or 4 or something. So like you don't really get as much of a 24-hour sun, I'm not sure if you get one as much there. But anyways, so apparently they say they do fly. Now I don't know the exact flight though, like whether it's South Africa just straight to Antarctica or whether they go, to another spot. But they do fly out of there, and I think they did show on their website. It like shows like you fly out of here, and it showed like an arrow going there. So just another side thing, since we've talked about like do flights actually go from South Africa to Antarctica, and I think at least in that case it seems like they do.
Yeah, but even then it would be like you're just being contained in your specific zone just because you go from that continent to Antarctica, and people might go from Australia to Antarctica, and people go from obviously South America to Antarctica. Like even if you look at something like the AE map, that makes sense, right? Easy things to do, not that big of a deal. But what happens between those spots is, what's in
and they're
question.
geographically far apart. Well, that's the reason you would need 3 separate South Poles, because the tip of South America and the tip of South Africa, they're like thousands of miles apart. It wouldn't be so easy. But if it was an actual South Pole, they would all converge at the South Pole. There's no reason for 3.
Dude, this White Desert has a bunch of camps. They have one at 70 degrees called Witchaway at 70 degrees with these cool little dome buildings. And then they have another one called The Greatest Day, which is a camp at 71 degrees, 6 sleeping tents. It's called Wolf's Fang. Oh, I don't know why it says The Greatest Day. I guess that's just the headline. I guess it's Wolf's Fang, which is this other camp, which wow, they have a snow lounge. That looks pretty amazing. Here, I'll post this link. But and then this is another site called Echo at 71 degrees. They call these sky pods, 6 sky pods. They're like these really sweet looking like dome buildings. It says ultra luxury adventure. It says space inspired. This one's like supposed to be inspired by space. But I think I looked at the prices of these. Yeah, they're 100,000, 105, 110. Yeah, that's what these cost.
Bargain.
Yeah.
And I think I read on their site, that they fly out of I think Cape Town. So sorry, go ahead.
One thing going back to the Jeran clip, it was ended with it doesn't mean the AE map is over. It doesn't mean flat Earth is over. And I'm not saying this is an intentional thing or not, but just the way that language works, the way that people interpret these things is when you say things in the negative like that. Like this is how like neurolinguistic programming works, is that when somebody says it doesn't mean that, people subconsciously take it as it means that. Like they kind of take out the negative from that. So in the sense of the way that a lot of people could hear it is, it means that the AE map is done. It means that the flat Earth is over. Like that's just an observation of how.
I agree.
He said the AE map no longer works. Works.
It's like he's coping.
At the end, he said it doesn't mean the AE map is over. It doesn't mean that flat Earth is over. So thanks to Will Duffy.
But he didn't say negative though. He says it no longer works.
No, at the end he said it doesn't mean that the AE map is over.
And see, part of the issue with that is that he's insinuating that there is no such thing as like a 24-hour like Antarctic sun model, or that it doesn't work.
Wait, hold on. Unsilent. Is this Glober actually verifying the neuro-linguistic programming that he was just being called out for?
Which Glober?
Because like the actual quote is doesn't mean, you know, and then the Glober's in here saying it does mean.
Yeah.
he might have said two different things at two different points, maybe. But at the end, he definitely said, it doesn't mean.
I thought he kind of said dude, I'm only like going off my memory of just watching it the first time, but because I do remember, and I was trying to I thought he said, does it mean that the AE map is false, is wrong? And then something like, no, not necessarily, whatever. Like, does it mean? Like, kind of as a question, like a rhetorical question?
No, he doesn't say does at all. He says it means the AE map no longer works. He doesn't say does. He doesn't say doesn't.
At 33 minutes and 3 seconds, he says it. What a coincidence! Yep. What a coincidence!
Yeah,
I find that people hear what they want to hear most of the time.
Well, I posted in chat. There it is, right there.
Yeah, and then discard the rest of what they don't want to hear. Correct.
Yeah.
Wait, what time what was the timestamp you said? Yes, sir?
I'm linking the timestamp right now. Anybody can go to the video and anybody can see it. At the end of his speech, he says, it doesn't mean, so it seems like the sun does circle around here. It doesn't mean that the AE map is done. It doesn't mean the flat Earth is done. And then, thank you, Will Duffy, whatever.
Do we need to pull it up on the live stream or no? And play it or no? I'm saying I could. If
so basically, at noon,
I said pull it up.
Time, the sun is south of everybody in the world. Like if it's south of him in Antarctica, it's south of everybody. Is that what he's saying?
In this sense, he could be saying two separate things at two different times. One time he says the AE map seems to be incorrect. The other time he's saying...
Because I'm just wondering how I would see the same sun at high noon as him being below the equator.
Yeah, Gio's playing it on screen share right now.
Yeah, I mean, it's only like 2 or 3 minutes, right? So we just watch it.
I mean, yeah, we can watch the entire thing. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I don't even think he talks for a full 3 minutes. I think he only talks for about maybe a minute or two.
Well, since we've been talking about this part of it,
I could go back to the start and we can just watch the entire thing.
Well, yeah, let's go. Let's watch Jeran's thing, and if people could just be silent and we can watch it, listen to it, and we can pause and interject.
Bro, the vibe of Duffy is crazy, dude. I just looked at him for a second, and he just feels like this guy that's like being positioned to catch this flat earther in this weird situation, and I don't know what Duffy's doing there, dude. It's weird.
So yeah,
bro. You're spot on.
I hear you with that. All right, so let's all kind of stay quiet and just watch it, and then if we want to interject, I guess we could either pause and then comment, or we could just wait till it's over. but yeah, let's kind of watch it together. Like I watch it, just because if people keep talking, then you have to like deafen it and change your volume. So just just if everyone could just stay on mute for 2-3 minutes, and then you can join the live stream account on the panel, and then I'll run it on the actual, or you can join the screen share account, watch it on here on the panel, and then I'll stream it on the live stream as well. So, all right, we'll start it now, and we'll just watch this since we've been talking about it, and we'll go from there. All
right. Sometimes you are wrong in life, and I thought that there was no 24-hour sun. In fact, I was pretty sure of it. But I respect Will Duffy for being a stand-up guy, at least in the way that he kept saying it was true. I kept saying it wasn't. He said, "Do you want to go? I'll take you," and brought me here. And it's a fact. The sun does circle you in the south. So what does that mean? You guys are gonna have to figure that out yourself. Don't listen to my beliefs or my opinion. It shouldn't matter to you. But at least you should be able to accept that the sun does exactly what these guys said as far as circles the southern continent. So that's about it. I realize that I'll be called a shill for just saying that. And you know what? If you're a shill for being honest, so be it. I honestly believe there was no 24-hour sun. I honestly now believe there is. That's it. If you want to call me a shill, so be it. I'll live to see another day, and at least I know that I got to see it. And I just want to say thanks to Will through everything. You've been at least kind to me, and I appreciate that. And I appreciate the trip. If you guys want to, my whole master plan worked for getting a free trip out here and to
the master plan thing that got.
But no, it's amazing. I can't even tell you. Flying in was the best thing I've ever seen. So looking around, best thing I've ever seen. So how could I give him a hard time for bringing me down here? $35,000 trip. It's been incredible. It will continue to be incredible. We've got some tracking mounts swinging around, seeing the sun. What does it mean? You have to figure it out. To me, it means that the AE map no longer works, but that doesn't mean that I'm right. It means that it could work. You'll have to figure out how, because I've tried and I struggle with it. The other thing is a 24-hour moon. If that happens, you got another thing we got to worry about. So it seems like the moon does circle here as well. So start thinking about that as well. It doesn't mean that AE map is over, flat Earth is over. Maybe somebody's got the answer. I don't have that answer right now. So just want to say thanks again. Appreciate it. Thanks, bro. Yep.
Yeah, the my master plan
Look at
part,
that face. Look at that
suspect.
face, bro. Look at that weasel coming in. I got him. Yeah, it's pathetic.
Looking at the full thing in context, it's even worse than I thought. Like, that is actually just the worst thing I've ever seen in my life.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. Body language, he looked weak. That's what they're gonna run. That's what you're gonna be seeing for the next few years. That clip right there.
Dude, and also the way he set it up was like it's so dishonest. He was like, "Oh, they're gonna call me a shill," but for being honest, he also made Duffy look like a good guy. He's like, "Oh, he's a stand-up guy." So so then
the sun.
Hold up, guys. The thing is, we can. I mean, obviously, we want to give our commentary, but I don't. I just don't really want it to turn into like a slander session of just calling him, just like insulting the guy. I don't know. Just.
Well, I'm just pointing out all the things wrong with it. I'm pointing out all the things wrong with it.
Yeah, I'm separating the statement from the person.
Well, you're like calling him dishonest, and now you're like calling him a liar and stuff. I mean, there was nothing to. I mean, what? I don't know.
Well, I mean, like the Duffy thing. So it's like he's painting him as like though he was a stand-up guy, as though there's like no dishonesty on his part throughout this entire thing, and the way that he treated them, and like some of the overall Glober tactics that they employ.
I guess I just like, I don't know, just like it's a fine line, I guess. Like, I mean, like live streaming. I mean, I'm not trying to like censor, like shut down like commentary, but at the same point, if it's like, oh, he's a total this and that, you know what I mean? Which has already happened, obviously on here at times, but it's like, do we really want to be like publishing live streaming where we're just like, I don't know. I mean, I guess it's a fine line between people.
I would like to retract. Actually, I didn't think it was as bad as I thought it was, but I do think it's weird that he's like groveling to Duffy and saying what a great guy he is, and that's kind of strange.
Yeah.
Also, I didn't know that they agreed to like make a full concession statement on the channel. I thought that was like totally not something that they were trying to get involved with. with the whole like we have production rights and all that bullshit. Like they clearly just created a public video for consumption, like voluntarily saying that shit. So
well, that was part of the deal. That was the entire reason they went down there, was to observe the 24-hour sun. So one of the conditions of going down there was that they would all get on a live stream together and say what they saw.
That was hold on. Let me interfere. Hold on. That was a thing, or you just kind of winging that?
No. I saw a thing where Jeran, he had a live stream and he went through like the details of the contracts and stuff. And that's one thing he said that was like in the contract, was that they would go on a live stream,
okay,
and they would all comment on what they saw together at the same time, all 8 of them. So that was kind of like, that's kind of like the buildup. That's why they're going down there. So that was the one thing that was on all 8 of them.
Well, then that's fair.
50 coming through with the knowledge on that. If that's the case, all right.
If that's true, then that's fair. Then I take my statement back. I think that he said that it was specifically his position and he wanted to get out of the limelight, make it someone else's problem to figure out. That's basically what he said. So
that's
the other thing. Sorry. Just with the live streaming, I guess what 50's saying does match with, like, they get there, they kind of had to do their thing. They got their few minutes on camera. Boom. What did you see? Okay. And then because I when Witsit was in here, I was like, because Duffy was going live earlier, and I was like, oh, Witsit, are you going on the, because I thought, oh, they're going to do another thing where they all give their updates and they go through and they all do another speech. And Witsit's like, no. He's like, I'm not doing that. I'm going to bed. So it's sort of like maybe that was the deal. Like they'll do that one live stream where they came on camera for 3 minutes, and then everything else they do will just be their own stuff.
Can we play Witsit's thing real quick?
Yeah, I skimmed forward to it. You guys want to watch it?
Yeah.
Should we start now?
Yeah, go for it.
Is that a Mason hand symbol?
He's saying, wait a minute, 1 minute. All right.
On the other side of this camera.
Oh, wait,
let me stage.
With that, I'll turn it over.
The Chrome extension everyone will be using in 2020.
Sorry. I got to get a ad blocker on here. All right.
Witsit, who you all know, runs the channel Witsit Gets It.
What's up? So I'm actually, they're holding guns on the other side of this camera. This is all a stage. No, yeah. So I mean, I was one of the people that said I definitely didn't think that there was a 24-hour sun. We obviously haven't actually seen the sun for 24 hours, but it is doing what they said it would do. Very clearly, and it is still dancing around high in the sky. So obviously we're documenting it. But yeah, I said what I feel about this the whole time. Truth doesn't fear investigation. I think that we're truly trying to figure out the truth. Obviously, some people think that what we were told is the truth. I don't think that, but I do think that people need to be honest and humble and be like, whoa, we were wrong. If something doesn't just pop out of the blue and all of a sudden the sun sets or something, when we claim that there was no sun or 24-hour sun. So yeah, and I know a lot of people want to know what my take is in terms of how does it work and stuff. And I will, like a quick teaser, I've seen a physical demonstration that could show this working, but I do think that some of the data we're going to have from this trip may help to clarify if that is actually what's happening. But anyway, long story short, they kind of covered the trip. It's like incredible and beautiful. And when you fly into here, it's just like words can't even describe it, man. It is crazy, crazy beautiful. Obviously this, for people to say that we can't go here and all these people are working here, we obviously never actually claimed that people couldn't go here. We just say you can't freely and privately explore it. But I will say this, when we flow over it, I'd be like, you probably don't want to really do that, so it looks extremely dangerous. It's beautiful, but scary at the same time. And so, they say, look, if you want to go somewhere, we got to survey it and make sure you're not going to fall in and die. And I get it. So yeah, obviously we did know you could go to approved places, but more so the point of this trip is to see if there's 24-hour sun. There clearly is. I won't go on like a big rant about what I think that means. I don't think it falsifies plain Earth. I don't think it proves a globe. I think it's a singular data point. I will make one more comment kind of as to like the meta here. I do think that we have some strong personalities that get really intense on the camera. And it has been interesting to kind of be all around each other. I think it's been relatively chill. You know, I think it's been pretty cool. I think it's a testament to the idea that we're all just humans, and whether you know it or not, there was a creator and he made you and all of us. And so that's like this basic level that we should all understand. And when there's not all this hoorah on the internet, that kind of becomes pretty self-evident in person. I think that's cool. So yeah, I think the trip's very cool. I'm appreciative to Will. I didn't think it would really happen, so I kind of just sat back and waited. And here we are. Jeran says it's still getting canceled, so who knows? Maybe it does. But yeah, sure enough, the sun is dancing up in the sky, and they followed through with their word. We are in Antarctica. I can assure you, we tracked it with multiple compasses the entire way we were going south or just off of south for 4 consecutive hours from Punta Arenas. I can guarantee you that's where we were as well. So yeah, sure enough, we're here. The sun is doing that in the sky. So we'd have to go back to the drawing board to try to address the Pampana.
This is embarrassing, dude.
I'll stop there. I do appreciate the opportunity. This is beautiful. I probably would have never come taking the risk of if we would see it or not. And yeah, it's something I'll remember forever. So there's that. And one more thing I'll say, everyone should just try and be nice to each other. Okay. Because I'm not even going to read the comments, because I was reading the chat earlier and people talking reckless. So, and that's on both sides. I think everyone should just chill, be like, well, this is pretty like legendary stuff. Like no one's ever actually done this. We have multiple cameras. We have cameras documenting the camera. We have everything you could imagine. This has never been done. We're getting the sunspots. We're getting every different angle you can imagine. It's truly amazing. It's very cool. We're doing a lot of firsts. So yeah, I think we should just kind of all acknowledge that. And then, you know, shout out to Will for making it happen, because it's pretty cool that he actually pulled it off. So thank you.
All right. So
you guys want to watch McToon? Just joking.
No.
So there it is.
2 concessions, exactly what he wanted. Look at that group. Look at that face, bro. He got what he wanted. I'm not downing Witsit or Jeran, right? But this was a setup. Man.
Man, I was so looking forward to McToon.
Dude, I think this is cool. Like, you guys kind of look at it like in a negative way. I think it's kind of incredible that 2 or 4, a group of humans, 4 on each side of a subject, can come together, go on a kind of amazing trip, and reflect on reality. I think that's kind of incredible and kind of amazing, and a pretty crazy and inspiring human story. You don't have to necessarily put a negative spin on it. I'm not.
They're going to put the negative spin on it. It is incredible. Just the fact that we're able to communicate with them, that's an amazing experience to be part of, right? But they're gonna put it in a negative light.
Yeah, that's like giving yourself amnesia and pretending you don't know the kind of tactics they employ. And like that's like kind of like the issue. It's like, as flat earthers, these are things that you like have cultivated and come to understand and know about how the way they run a lot of these like government psyops and like media control. And that's where like Jeran's saying looks totally bad, because it's just like, how do you like look at the overall picture of that, see how it plays into the flat earth, and then come out and be the person that like gives them that kind of framing over you in that situation? Like it's just a bad look.
Unsilent though, like, don't we always say, like, what is it, when they say, flat earthers say this, and you say, well, I mean, you know, like, that's some other person, like, we're individuals, you know, we don't sort of subscribe to a sort of central doctrine, and yet you're acting as if this guy saying something. I just think it's a little bit sort of, I don't understand why we're getting so
I don't
upset
say that at all.
I mean, like, that way. He's right. We're viewed as a group.
I acknowledge that there is varying ideas, but I do think that like largely there are certain ideas that are more prevailing or like more prevalent, where like there are certain things that are more dogmatic that people gravitate towards. But I don't have this view that everyone has their own individual kind of like approach and attitude. Like obviously I acknowledge that's the thing, but I don't necessarily treat it like that all the time.
Sure. I mean, I don't know. When I came into these rooms chatting about this stuff, they say, you guys say this, and I say, I'm not those guys, right? So They say there's no like model or something, like where's your model? And everyone says we don't have a model. I'm inclined to say that, well, there is kind of a concept of model. It's not maybe as well versed as what the globe is, although that's got its own problems. But I just find it a little bit curious that we're all getting upset by what Jeran's saying. He's just one fella. He has a right to express himself as he pleases. I mean, maybe he's a useful idiot. Maybe he's a shill. I don't know. It doesn't really bother me though. I just don't, like. I don't really interact with the guy personally.
It's not going to damage anybody who's a flat earther. It's the people who are new on the fence. They might not even look into it after hearing something like that. But as far as anyone else who already gets it, yeah, that's the problem. It will deter their curiosity.
It doesn't matter what you think or what I think. It's what the people out there think. They're going to think Jeran and Witsit now are the flat earth leaders. You understand? It doesn't matter what we think. So what they say, that's what they're going to play off of.
Yeah, in the sense of the entire
We've always
thing
had
is,
odds against us, so.
In the entire sense of the entire thing is explicitly designed to be a media event that affects the way that people think. And like that is the entire purpose of the event. So it's not about like questioning Jeran's character. It's more of just like a matter of fact statement of what this is in terms of how it is being perceived and used.
Sure. Okay. Look, we can complain about it all we like, though. These guys have done the hard yards. Yeah. We sit within a heterodox community. I'll use that term rather than sort of saying flat earth, right? We're against the orthodoxy that's going on at the moment. These guys have, despite censorship, prevailed. They've worked hard at it. This is their this is their reward essentially for getting to the top, and they'll get all the rebuke and all of the issue and being labeled shills. I don't necessarily think I would always be inclined to say exactly the right thing when being put in front of a camera.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, okay, well,
when it's my turn.
Yeah, we can do that. Did we want to? Well, before you go, did we want to watch any more of these, by the way, or should we? I don't know. That's a question we could think about. But yeah, go ahead.